you cannot. I'm asking simple question. Mechanism of action for atropine or atropine.
Atropine will compete with acetylcholine at the muscarinic receptors. Then it will prevent the cholinergic activation.
So it will compete at the receptor site. So it will block the muscarinic receptors. So that is that. You want to, as Sandra said, want to reverse the muscarinic effect. So we give atropine to reverse muscarinic effect. And you should know the muscarinic effect. You should know the muscarinic effect. We give atropine and you give pralidoxam for this. Okay, how will you give atropine? How are you going to give? How are you going to give atropine? So find out how atropine is given. Find out the side effect of that and find out the contraindication. These common things, because of the MCQs, you should side effects, contraindications, you should know. Okay, so these are the common. I'm looking at the situation. Imports, please, imports. Read something about the imports. If you don't get it, written, you can get it over. So read something about the import. Okay, let's move quickly to the coronary artery disease. The coronary artery disease. That is the cardio. Or you are okay with the coronary artery disease?
No, please.
Who said no, please?
Dr. Takra Kingsley.
Kingsley.
Yes, please.
Why no, please?
Doc, we need some guidelines.
Tell me the guidelines, then I'll give it to you. Just the chapter.
And please, you said.
I'm saying, tell me the guideline that you need. Your name is what?
Kingsley Ajay.
So who is Grace? Who is Grace also?
This is for my wife.
Your wife is Grace also?
Yes, please.
How many children? 5.
Dr. Takra.
So whilst we are learning, you are chilling with your wife.
Dr. Takra.
Who is laughing? Look at them. Look at them. Caleb, Grace Owusu, tell me the guidelines that you need. And I'll give you the guideline. Huh?
Oh, Doc, we just want you to go through with us.
But some of you, which school did you attend? Central.
Yes, please.
But you were taught coronary artery disease. Were you not taught? Coco? Mommy Uzi,
Yes, sir.
are you there with your wife?
Oh, no, I'm alone. My wife is in Accra.
You are in Kumasi.
Yeah.
So why don't you join the face-to-face? Coco,
Yes, sir.
why don't you join the face-to-face?
Oh, it's okay. Once in a while, I'll join the face-to-face.
Coco, you have done coronary artery disease. What do you need again?
You haven't done it, too?
You haven't done coronary artery disease.
No.
Coco, you haven't done coronary artery disease.
No.
Do you
You
take
said you teach. You said you teach today.
You will take alcohol, Coco?
No,
You don't
please.
take alcohol. You don't take alcohol.
No.
You know why I'm asking this?
Mhm.
So go and ask your mate. I've done this. Hmm? Okay, so coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. The pain is that I'm not having the blood. I'm not having the blood. Don't know why.
Dr. Chakra, please. I think Google Meet has deactivated their board feature.
You have done what?
They've deactivated the dumb board feature. So it's no more available for all users.
Why? What happened?
I can't really tell, but in previous months when you used to teach, they used to put a notice up there that Jamboard will no more be used, and they give a certain time limit. That's why now it no more appears.
Okay, so there are times that I need to draw something on the board for. So coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease can also be called what? You have coronary artery disease. Can also be called what?
Ischemic heart disease.
Can also be called ischemic heart disease or
Coronary heart disease.
coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease can also be called ischemic heart disease. Can also be called what? Coronary heart disease. You get it?
Yes, please.
So it's coronary artery disease. It's also known as coronary heart disease. It's also known as ischemic heart disease. So we have the word coronary heart disease or coronary artery disease. We have this word. When you talk about coronary means vessels that supply. Understand me well. I'm talking about only coronary. If I say coronary, what does it mean? Coronary means vessels that supply blood to the myocardium. Vessels that supply blood to the myocardium. That is the only coronary. But now the next word is artery. Coronary artery. That is the next word. The next word is artery. And now the artery is telling us, it's giving us the type of vessels and the type of blood that is taken to the myocardium. Please, do you get it? Do you get it? Hey, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
So now, if artery is there, what type of blood is being taken?
Please.
Oxygenated blood, because we are mentioning what? Arteries. Then we have disease. It means that when you have these coronary arteries, disease of the coronary arteries, it tends to affect the heart because they will be supplying oxygenated blood to the myocardium. If something happens to these arteries such that blood supply to the myocardium is affected, now it will lead us to what? Coronary heart disease. And if the problem is such that oxygenated blood is not able to get into the heart, then we're talking about ischemic heart disease. So anything that tends to affect the vessels such that the myocardium will not be getting oxygen, the myocardium will not be getting these nutrients, leading to the effect, then you'll be talking about coronary heart disease, coronary artery disease, or ischemic heart disease. So, coronary artery disease is a condition in which the vascular supply to the heart is impeded. It's a condition in which the vascular supply to the myocardium or to the heart is impeded. So the flow of oxygenated blood via these coronary arteries could be obstructed or could be impeded, such that this blood will not be getting into the myocardium, or smaller amount will be getting into the myocardium. So certain condition could cause this obstruction. And when we have these obstruction, then the end result is the coronary heart disease, or is the ischemic heart disease. So it's a condition in which the vascular supply, so the oxygenated blood to the heart, is obstructed by certain conditions. So what are the conditions that could happen to the coronary arteries such that oxygenated blood will be impeded, or oxygenated getting into the myocardium, will be obstructed. What are some of the conditions that could happen in there? What are some of the conditions? Can you help me?
Atherosclerosis.
Atherosclerosis. What again?
Anemia.
Come again.
Anemia.
There could be anemia. Mhm.
It could also be hypertension.
We're talking about, listen, be careful about the question. Don't just be saying anything. What you are saying, you are right. But I'm saying that what are some of the conditions that could obstruct the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium? I use the word obstruct or impede. You get the question?
Yes, please.
So what are some?
So you could have embolus. Or
You could
thrombosis.
have embolus. Emboli could obstruct the flow of oxygenated blood via the coronary arteries to where? To the myocardium. Embolus. What again?
So coronary spasms.
Come again.
Coronary spasms.
Coronary spasms. Coronary spasms. When you have spasms with the coronary vessels, it will obstruct the flow. What again?
Coronary stenosis.
Coronary
Stenosis.
coronary stenosis. When you are narrowing the lumen. Coronary stenosis. When you are narrowing the lumen. What's again?
Thrombosis.
Thrombosis. Good. Thrombosis. Thrombosis could also obstruct the flow. Any other? Any other?
Atheroma.
Atheroma. Atheroma can also do that. Atheroma can also do that. So these are some of the conditions. Listen, don't just rush and answer question. A lot of you, when you are talking, is different. When you are writing, is also different. I asked about condition that could obstruct, and you have mentioned anemia, mentioned hypertension. Talking about condition that could obstruct the flow or impede the flow of blood too. So you'll be talking about atheroma, talking about coronary spasms, talking about thrombosis, talking about emboli. All these are some of the conditions that could obstruct the flow. Obstruct the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. Please, is it clear to this point?
Yes, please.
So if you have these obstructions, what will happen? If you are impeding the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium, what will happen? What will happen to the myocardium?
The myocardium will die.
So take your time and tell me what will happen to the myocardium.
The myocardium will not receive oxygen, enough blood. For that matter, oxygen flow to that place is less, resulting in the death of the myocardium.
So what will be the first process that will occur, the first condition that would occur?
There will be necrosis.
Ischemia.
There will be ischemia. Hey. Now, oxygen is not getting into, or not enough. Oxygen is getting in. The first thing that will happen is what? Is ischemia. So myocardial ischemia would occur. And when you prolong the ischemia, and the obstruction is there, still preventing oxygenated blood to the myocardium. When you prolong the ischemia, then what will happen is what? What will happen?
Infarction.
It's infarction. It's infarction. So myocardial ischemia, when you prolong it, when the obstruction is still there, and it's preventing oxygenated blood to the myocardium, it will lead to what we call myocardial infarction. Please, is that clear up to this point?
Yes.
So it's telling you that myocardial ischemia or myocardial infarction will occur when the oxygen supply is lesser than the demand. So myocardial ischemia or myocardial infarction occurs when the oxygen demand exceeds the oxygen supply. Then you'll be getting these infarction or what? Myocardial ischemia. The oxygen demand by the myocardium exceeds the oxygen supply to the myocardium. Then you'll be getting what? You'll be getting myocardial infarction or myocardial ischemia. And this imbalance will lead to what we call angina. This imbalance will lead to what we call angina. Do you get it?
Yes, please.
This imbalance where the oxygen demand by the myocardium exceeds the supply. The demand is high, the supply is low, will lead to myocardial infarction. And this infarction, this indifference will lead to angina. And that angina is simply termed as chest pain coming from the heart. Angina will be chest pain coming from the heart. If you don't understand, let me know. Just break me and ask. I'll not be asking you, do you understand? Do you understand? I can be asking this for 2 minutes before a response will come. If you don't understand anything, break me and ask. I'll not be asking this again. Okay, so now there's demand and supply. The demand is high. The myocardium needs more oxygen. The supply is less. And this will lead to chest pain. And that chest pain, because it's coming from the myocardium, we term it as angina. There could be chest pain coming from other sources. There could be chest pain coming from other sources. Chest pain could come from could come from the GI. The chest pain could come from the pneumonia. So also a chest pain coming from the heart. And that chest pain coming from the heart is termed as what? It's termed as an angina. So how will a patient experience this angina pain? How will the patient experiencing this chest pain coming from the heart? So what happens is that because there's obstruction to the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium, we say that the myocardium will develop myocardial ischemia. That will be an initial thing. When you prolong the ischemia, then what happens is myocardial infarction will ensue. When this happens, the moment the myocardia develop ischemia or infarction, what will happen is that we have a substance within the myocardium. That substance is called adenosine. The moment we have infarction or ischemia, this substance will be released from the myocardium. This substance is the main mediator of the chest pain. It's the main mediator of the chest pain. This substance is the main mediator of the chest pain. It means that this will cause the chest pain. So what this substance will do, adenosine will do, is that adenosine will stimulate the A1 receptors. And these A1 receptors are located on the cardiac nerve endings. These A1 receptors are located on the cardiac nerve endings. And this stimulation of these cardiac nerve endings, stimulation of A1 on the cardiac nerve endings will lead to the chest pain. So if you are asked how a patient, coronary artery disease patient, would experience chest pain, it will be as a result of adenosine release from the myocardium. This adenosine will stimulate the A1 receptors located on the cardiac nerve endings. And stimulation of these A1 will cause the chest pain. So that is that. So this is free introduction of coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. Please hold on for me. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
What was the last thing I said? The last thing I said. Okay, so let's talk about the causes. The causes of the CAD. Causes of CAD. So, causes of CAD. Yes, let me break it into three different causes of CAD. Three different causes of CAD. Let me break it to three. The first one, we have talked about the first one. The first one is the mechanical obstruction. So there's a reduction of coronary blood flow to the myocardium as a result of mechanical obstruction. So the first cause of CAD is mechanical obstruction. Obstruction, condition that could impede the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. So we have mentioned these things. We have mentioned atheroma. We have mentioned thrombosis. We have mentioned spasms. We have mentioned coronary stenosis. We have mentioned embolus. This is one area that could cause coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease, so mechanical obstruction that could reduce the coronary blood flow to the myocardium. So the first is that the second cause could be conditions that would reduce the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. The first one are conditions that could obstruct the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. The second one, we have conditions that could reduce the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. The first one is conditions that could obstruct or impede. Now, conditions that would reduce the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. What are some of the conditions that could reduce the oxygenated blood to the myocardium?
Anemia. Anemia.
Yeah, are you sleeping?
Look, anemia.
Are you sleeping? Who talk? You said what? Malaria. You said malaria. How malaria? How malaria?
Heart failure can do that.
Why don't you take it one by one? How malaria? How malaria reduce the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium? Oh, somebody said malaria.
Said anemia.
Anemia. So, anemia is a condition. So, anemia, what again?
Hypotension.
Hypotension will cause decrease in coronary perfusion pressure. Hypotension is a condition that could reduce blood flow to the myocardium. Hypotension. What again?
Heart failure.
How different is heart failure from hypotension, which is causing coronary perfusion?
Yes.
How different? What again?
Hypothyroidism.
I'm talking about conditions that will reduce oxygen flow to the myocardium. We talked about anemia. Anemia will reduce oxygen flow. We talked about hypotension. Will cause low perfusion. Coronary perfusion pressure will be reduced. What again?
Carboxyhemoglobinemia.
So carboxyhemoglobinemia. So combination of carbon dioxide plus hemoglobin will reduce oxygen, the flow of oxygen to the myocardium. We have the third cause. When I do it in this way, you would appreciate it. But if I lump them together, you will not appreciate it. The first one, we're talking about the vessels, condition that could obstruct the vessels, impede the flow of blood to the myocardium. The second one, conditions that will reduce the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium. The third is conditions that will cause the myocardium to demand more oxygen. Conditions that will cause the myocardium to demand more oxygen. What are some of the conditions?
Thyrotoxicosis.
So thyrotoxicosis will cause the heart, it will increase the heart activity or the heart rate. And if it's causing the heart rate to increase, then the heart will be demanding for more oxygen. So thyrotoxicosis. Thyrotoxicosis. What again?
Myocardial hypertrophy.
So myocardial hypertrophy, when the muscles want to enlarge the muscles, you may need more oxygen for the enlargement. So this will cause the heart to demand for more oxygen. Hypertrophy will cause this enlargement. You need more oxygen. So these are some of the causes of what? Coronary artery disease. Some of the causes of coronary artery disease. I was saying this to you at that time, that please, when you are learning about any topic, learn about the risk factors. Risk factors. So we have risk factors of coronary artery disease. What are some of the risk factors? So the risk factors of coronary artery disease could be divided into basically into three, basically into two, but we have one additional area. Could divide it into non-modifiable risk factors, modifiable risk factors. The third one is contributing risk factors, contributing risk factors. So non-modifiable risk factors. What are the non-modifiable risk factors? What are the non-modifiable risk factors?
So for the non-modifiable, we could have age. Those are family history.
So we have age, we have what? Family history, positive family history. What again? What again?
So the gender.
So we have the gender. What again?
Race.
We also have the race. We also have the race. What are the modifiable risk factors? The modifiable risk factors. Why are they called modifiable risk factors? Why are they called modifiable risk factors?
Look, they are modifiable risk factors because one can do something to reduce their effects.
One can do what?
Perform certain activities to reduce their effects.
So what are they? The modifiable risk factors.
We have obesity.
So obesity is modifiable risk factors. Any other?
Smoking.
So smoking, listen, don't just say smoking. Don't just say smoking. You be specific. Cigarette smoking. Cigarette smoking. It's like if I ask you side effect of nitrate, one of the side effects of nitrate is headache. Then we'll be saying headache. We have different types of headaches. So you could have, so in doing this, we have to be specific. So cigarette smoking, please. What again?
Hypertension and diabetes.
Hypertension, diabetes. Then let me push some of you. Let me push you. Why hypertension? Why diabetes is a risk? Why do you say diabetes is a risk? Why do you say diabetes is a risk? It's a modifiable risk factor. Hey. Why do you say diabetes is a risk factor?
Please, I'm trying.
Hello, sir.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
So for the hypertension, there will be increased myocardial oxygen demand.
I can't hear you.
There will be increased myocardial oxygen demand for hypertension.
Please, can you hear him?
No, please.
No, please.
In hypertension, there will be increased myocardial oxygen demand.
So, in hypertension, there will be increase in myocardial demand. And that will cause what?
So when the demand is the supply, that would be a risk factor for the coronary artery disease.
So in diabetes,
and also in diabetes too, because diabetes is a metabolic condition, it's also a risk factor for atherosclerosis, which is one of the examples for the mechanical obstruction. That also
how will diabetes cause mechanical obstruction?
I mentioned earlier that the diabetes is a risk factor for atherosclerosis.
And I'm asking, how is it a risk factor for atherosclerosis?
Okay, diabetes can cause endothelial damage.
How would diabetes cause endothelial damage? So assuming oral, these questions are being asked. If we try to generalize it like this, and depend upon the examiner that you'll be meeting, we're trying to push you. You should know the basis, please. You should know the basis. What you are saying is not wrong, but you don't have that basis to explain this. How would diabetes?
Sir, please, I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
So with diabetes, there's high level of glucose in the blood, and this high level of glucose can be converted to lipids. When these lipids are deposited in the lumen of the blood vessels, it can cause the initiation of blood formation, and that could lead to blockade, impeding the flow of oxygenated blood to the myocardium.
So you started by saying what?
That I said there is high levels of glucose or sugar in the blood, and then that will be converted to like lipids.
So the sugar will be converted to lipids.
Yes, please.
How will sugar be converted to lipids?
That is that's something to do with. Oh.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm also trying. So with diabetes, there's hyperglycemia. So this will cause the blood it will cause viscosity of the blood. It will make the blood thicken. And this can cause
the blood thickening and viscosity. What is the difference?
It's the same.
Hey, Munina, you.
Hello, Dr. Please, I remember you when you were teaching us, said in diabetes, because of the persistent levels of high blood sugar, in order for the body to get glucose to work, it breaks down fatty acids. So the whole cycle of the breakdown of the fat will cause elevated levels of triglycerides.
Come again. You have a point, but put it well. Come again.
So, when you're teaching us, you said that because of the persistent levels of glucose in the blood in diabetes, the body resorts to other sources of.
So if you have glucose in the blood, why is the body resorting to?
Because the glucose is not entering the cells.
Good. This is something I want you to say. When you do that, hey, be careful. You come back and be saying that, I've done it. In hyperglycemic state, the sugar level is in the blood, not in the cells. The cells are not getting it. And therefore, the body has to produce what? More glucose, because it will be assumed that there's no glucose, because they don't have insulin to push the glucose into the cells. So the body assumes that there's no glucose, and therefore the body has to prepare more glucose via gluconeogenesis. And to do this, that is where you can come in. To do this, what will happen?
It will go and break down fat into it's going to break down fats, and it will result in the production of triglycerides. And these triglycerides are not healthy for the body, so they'll be deposited in the vessels.
So free fatty acids will be produced.
Yes, sir.
The triglycerides will be broken down to free fatty acids and what? And what? I taught you this. Glycerol. And you are telling me triglycerides is not good for the body. Benedicta.
Sir.
You said it. Hmm? So I said that the adipose tissue contains what? The triglyceride. Contains that. And for us to get glycerol for gluconeogenesis, this triglycerides, there should be a breakdown of these triglycerides in adipose tissue. This breakdown will release free fatty acids. Some of these free fatty acids will deposit in the vessels. Some will be getting into the liver. For ketogenesis to occur. Didn't I say these things to you?
Yes, you did.
So why in your explanation you want to say it in different ways? Okay, so diabetes could cause hyperlipidemia, will cause deposition of fats, free fatty acids into the vessels, and this can cause atheroma. Atheroma will damage the vessels, and damaging of the vessels will initiate, I'll be talking about it here, we'll be initiating atherogenesis, atherosclerosis. Damaging of the vessels will initiate atherosclerosis. We're talking about it here. So you should understand why this is a risk factor. Why this is a risk factor. Any other risk factors? Modifiable risk factors?
Obesity.
Obesity. Somebody said obesity. But again?
I think sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle.
Obesity, sedentary lifestyle. What again? Obesity, sedentary lifestyle. Or physical inactivity. Hypertension, diabetes, cigarette smoking. What again? When I was touching on diabetes, I said something. I was talking about lipids. So hyperlipidemia. Hyperlipidemia. So back to the contributing factors. We have a lot of modifiable risk factors. We have a lot. So the last one is contributing factors, contributing risk factors for coronary artery disease, contributing risk factors for coronary artery. Right?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, please, about the diabetes, I saw somewhere that they stiffen the vessels. Is it the same as the atherosclerosis because of the hyperglycemia?
The hyperglycemia could damage the vessels via deposition of lipids. Another thing is that, please can you mute? Another thing is that these diabetes would cause the sugar level in the blood will serve as a good medium for microorganisms to grow. could lead to infection. And infection can cause inflammation. And inflammation within the vessels could initiate atherosclerosis. And this will harden the vessels, causing destruction to the vessels. I'll be teaching you about atherosclerosis, how plaque is formed within the vessels. Do you get it?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So the contributing risk factors. This is contributing risk factors. One of the contributing risk factors are the stress. And another contributing risk factors. So we have modifiable, non-modifiable, and contributing risk factors. So stress could also contribute to that. Menopause also contribute to that. Any question up to this point?
So please, can you explain the menopause part?
What happens in menopause?
Women stop having their period.
So when they stop having their period, what are some of metabolic effects that they will be getting when they stop their period? When we have hormonal changes, no estrogen, what happens?
So I only know osteoporosis.
Hey, I gave you some work assignment. I told you I'll be asking. Is this class? Is it this class?
No, sir.
You tell me no. I gave you some. So who is asking me about menopause? Go listen. Go and find out the effect of menopause on the vessels, effect of menopause on the metabolic activity. Effect of menopause, the hormonal changes, the effect on the vessels, the effect on the metabolic activities. Do you get it? You are a lady. Find out the effect. Atherosclerosis and menopause. Okay. I wanted to start something, but I'll not be able to finish. So let's make it Friday, right? I want to start on the pathophysiology of coronary artery disease. I don't think I will. So let's make it Friday, and I start the pathophysiology.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm tired. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Dr. Takra.